Interesting use of AI. A missing hiker's dead body was finally found in July in Italy's rugged Piedmont region after 10 months. The recovery team credited the breakthrough to an AI-powered drone that spotted a critical clue within hours.
Do you believe mountains can hide secrets for thousands of years? Places where technology fails without explanation. Mountains that hold lost cities, forbidden chambers, and treasures that have claimed lives. Drones are now finding what humans have missed for centuries. From the very first discovery, you will be stunned. Keep watching to the end.
Feels like I'm inside the center of a mountain, and yet here are these crypts. Somebody's life was lived, and then this place built to honor their life after they died. Wow, this wasn't meant for the living. This is a chamber for the dead.
Number 15. AI drone finds missing hiker in the Italian Alps. In September 2024, 64-year-old Nicola Ivaldo set out to climb Monviso. The experienced mountaineer never returned. Search teams scoured the treacherous northern face for him. Cell phone data narrowed the search to 183 hectares of steep terrain and hanging glaciers. Then the rescue team turned to technology in 2025. Drones equipped with high-definition cameras flew over the area, capturing more than 2,000 high-resolution images. But manually scanning those images would have taken weeks. Artificial intelligence software analyzed the entire dataset in hours. The AI used color and shape recognition to highlight objects that did not match the surrounding environment. One detection stood out, a cluster of distinct red pixels. Rescuers later confirmed this was Ivaldo's red helmet. On July 31, 2025, a helicopter recovered Ivaldo's body on the north face of Monviso. The AI had found him. But what happens when technology arrives just a few days too late? Number 14. The body found 50 meters from rescue. On September 6, 2023, 56-year-old Charlie Kelly left his home in Tillicoultry, Scotland, to travel to the Highlands for a solo trek. When he failed to check in, a massive search was launched. 10 different mountain rescue teams scoured the difficult terrain. Dogs, helicopters, the Coast Guard, and even the RAF joined the search. Despite their exhaustive efforts, there were no sightings. The formal search was eventually stood down. Volunteer teams continued looking in the Glen Etive area. Then the Lake District Search and Mountain Rescue Association deployed new drone technology. The system works by having drones take hundreds of overlapping photographs. After the flight, specialized software analyzes each image. It searches for unusually colored clusters of pixels that do not fit the natural landscape. On October 24th, 2 drones were deployed over Glen Etive. The technology detected something in the landscape that did not belong. Volunteers on the ground investigated the anomaly. They discovered his body a short time later. What makes this story truly haunting is the location. His body was found approximately 50 meters from where search teams had been looking only days earlier. If search teams can miss one body, what else have we failed to see beneath our feet? Number 13. The Lost Silk Road Cities. For centuries, historians believed the Silk Road's great cities all sat on lowland plains. Caravans could travel easily there. That assumption was wrong. In 2011, archaeologists trekking through the grassy mountains of southeastern Uzbekistan noticed unusual mounds. They found thousands of pottery shards scattered across a remote plateau. They had stumbled upon the remains of a small medieval settlement. They named it Tashbulak. It covered 12 hectares at an altitude of 2,200 meters. That is comparable to Machu Picchu. 4 years later, a local forestry administrator tipped off the team about another site. When they arrived, they discovered his house had been built on top of a medieval citadel. He was literally living in a city. The larger settlement, named Tugun Bulak, would prove to be far more significant. Convincing the academic world was difficult. From the ground, the sites looked like grassy mounds. The team needed proof. The breakthrough came in 2022 with a drone equipped with LiDAR. The drone captured that Tugun Bulak was a sprawling metropolis spanning 120 hectares. That is more than 120 football fields. It was one of the largest regional cities of its time. Why settle at such an extreme altitude? Strong winds swept across the mountain ridges. These winds were perfect for fueling fires to smelt iron ore. The region had iron in abundance. Excavations uncovered production kilns and vast amounts of iron slag. Tugunbulak was a major center of metal production. Whoever controlled the iron trade held immense power, but the same industry may have caused their downfall. A thick juniper forest once covered the area. The trees were likely cut to fuel the smelting fires. Without the forest to anchor the soil, the environment became unstable. Flash floods and avalanches ravaged the area. Today, only 3% of the world's population lives above this altitude. What if entire civilizations were built on assumptions we have never questioned? Number 12. The Megafortress, 40 times larger than thought. Archaeologists first began excavating the Dmanisi Gora fortress in 2018. They focused on what they believed was the heart of the settlement, a fortified inner stronghold. They thought they understood its significance, but then they were spectacularly wrong. The truth revealed itself only when the seasons changed. During a subsequent visit in autumn, the knee-high summer grasses had died back, and the researchers discovered that the remains of additional fortification walls were scattered across a vast area outside the inner fortress. There were also other stone structures. The site was so large that it was impossible to get a sense of it as a whole from the ground. That sparked the idea of using a drone to assess the site from the air. The drone took nearly 11,000 pictures. Advanced software knitted these images together to produce high-resolution digital elevation models. The survey revealed that the site was more than 40 times larger than originally thought. It spanned 60 to 80 hectares. This made it one of the largest Bronze Age mega-fortresses in the region. It included a large outer settlement defended by a 1-kilometer-long fortification wall. Previously unobserved graves, field systems, and other stone structures were illuminated by the drone's eye. But the more they discovered, the deeper the mystery became. Despite its immense scale, the outer settlement has yielded few archaeological artifacts. It suggests it was either sparsely inhabited or abandoned shortly after construction. The researchers hypothesized that Dmanisi Gora may have expanded because of interactions with mobile pastoral groups. Its outer settlement may have expanded and contracted seasonally. But what if the biggest structures were not buildings at all, but messages? Number 11. The Serpent's Secret. Monte Sierpe is a rocky site in the foothills of the Peruvian Andes that consists of approximately 5,200 closely aligned holes. Each hole is up to 2 meters wide and 1 meter deep, stretching for 1.5 kilometers along the ridge. The band of holes has baffled archaeologists since it was rediscovered in 1931. When National Geographic published the first aerial photographs in 1933, the world was stunned. What were these thousands of perfectly aligned holes doing on a remote mountainside? Theories multiplied like wildfire. Some said they were graves. Others insisted they were defensive structures. Pseudo-archaeological theories even linked them to ancient astronauts. For nearly a century, the Serpent Mountain kept its secret. Then came the drones. In a study published in November 2025, archaeologists used drones to produce the clearest aerial imagery yet. The drone footage revealed something extraordinary. The holes are organized into approximately 60 discrete sections. Empty spaces separate these sections. One section has 9 rows of 8 holes. Another has 6 rows of 7 holes, with a final row of 8 holes. The patterns mirror the structure of Inca quipus, knotted cord systems used for record keeping. The researchers hypothesized that the Chincha kingdom built the site as a bustling marketplace between 1000 and 1400 AD. Merchants placed goods in the holes for exchange. Microbotanical analysis of sediment samples revealed traces of maize, chili peppers, sweet potato, and wild plants used for making baskets. When the Inca conquered the region around 1480, they repurposed it as a monumental accounting device. It tracked taxes and tributes, but the mystery remains unsolved. What happens when mystery stops being ancient and becomes a personal obsession? Number 10. The $2 million treasure hunt. In 1988, Forrest Fenn was diagnosed with terminal kidney cancer. He was given only a 20% chance of surviving 3 more years. Faced with his own mortality, he made a desperate decision. He filled a 12th century Romanesque bronze chest with gold nuggets, rare coins, jewelry, and gemstones. Then he planned to drive to a remote location somewhere in the Rocky Mountains. He would lie down beside his treasure and die. Whoever found his grave would be welcome to rob it. But then something unexpected happened. Fenn beat the cancer. Instead of abandoning his plan, he decided to stick with it. In 2010, at the age of 80, he published a memoir. It contained a cryptic 24-line poem with 9 clues to the treasure's location. The hunt that followed was unlike anything the world had ever seen. Over the next decade, an estimated 350,000 people searched for the treasure. Some quit their jobs and devoted thousands of hours to cracking Fenn's code. Others spent their life savings. But the search also had a dark side. At least 5 people lost their lives in pursuit of the treasure. In January 2016, a Colorado man named Randy Bilyeu disappeared after heading to New Mexico. His body was identified the following July. Still, Fenn did not end the hunt. Then in June 2020, the hunt came to an unexpected end. Fenn announced that the treasure had been found. He would not say where or by whom. In July, to provide closure, Fenn revealed that the chest had been hidden in Wyoming. Forrest Fenn passed away in September 2020 at the age of 90. 3 months later, his grandson confirmed the treasure had been found by a 32-year-old medical student from Michigan named Jonathan Jack Stueff. Stueff had first heard about the hunt on Twitter in early 2018. He searched for 2 years. On June 6, 2020, he retrieved the 42-pound bronze chest from Wyoming. It was intact and entirely untouched. But here is the bittersweet twist. Stueff was forced to sell the entire collection at auction to pay off his student loans. He refused to reveal the exact location where he found the chest as he wanted the site to remain undisturbed. What does it take to survive when everything says otherwise? Number 9. Saved by the llama. On December 21, 1991, a 22-year-old medical student from Brisbane set out on a trek in the Nepalese Himalayas. James Scott was strong, fit, and a black belt in karate. A sudden and fierce blizzard descended upon the mountains. Scott lost his way. He had no proper gear. He had only 2 chocolate bars and a caterpillar for food. Under normal conditions, a human could survive at most 10 days. Hypothermia, starvation, or both would kill them. But Scott used his medical knowledge to survive. He melted snow for water and ate what he could find. Then he crawled under a rock overhang, waiting for a miracle. Meanwhile, a massive search effort was underway. Hopes had faded due to harsh weather and the excessively large search area. Then James's desperate sister, Joanne, sought out a local Buddhist lama. She presented him with a topographic map of the region. The spiritual leader did not ask for coordinates or any logistical information. He studied the map and pointed to a specific triangular area between the regions of Feti, Gopte, and Tharapati. He asserted with absolute certainty that the young man was still alive and waiting at that location. Miraculously, rescuers followed the lama's direction. They found James Scott in the exact spot the lama had pinpointed. He was skin and bones, frostbitten, barely alive, but still breathing. The story of James Scott is one of extraordinary human endurance. It also defies rational explanation. How did a Buddhist lama, without any physical evidence or scientific data, pinpoint the exact location of a man lost in one of the most remote mountain ranges on Earth? What happens when a place becomes known for those who never return? Number 8. The Valley of Headless Men. In 1905, 2 brothers ventured deep into the Nahanni Valley chasing rumors of gold. Frank and Willie McLeod were seasoned outdoorsmen who knew the terrain. They went in with confidence. They never came out. For 3 years, nothing was heard from them. Then, in 1908, their brother Charlie led a search party into the valley known to history as the Valley of Headless Men. What they found on the riverbank was not gold. It was the remains of Frank and Willie. Their bodies were no longer intact, and they were tied to a tree near the river's edge. Their skeletons could only be identified by personal items like a stamped belt buckle and a rucksack. This was not an isolated incident. In 1917, a Swiss prospector named Martin Jorgensen was found in a similar condition near his burned-down cabin. The indigenous Dean people knew exactly who was responsible. According to their oral history, the valley was the domain of a tribe known as the Naha. They were a fierce, warlike mountain people who wore terrifying armor. They wielded weapons unlike anything the Dene had ever seen. They were brutal, unstoppable, and utterly merciless. The Dene lived in constant fear of the Naha. They never ventured into their territory. According to Dean history, a war party was finally assembled to confront the Naha tribe at their mountain camp. They traveled deep into the valley expecting a fierce battle. But when they arrived, something inexplicable had occurred. The camp was completely intact. Every member of the Naha tribe had vanished without a trace. To this day, no one knows what happened to the Naha. Some believe the Naha themselves were victims of something even more sinister that still lurks in the deep canyons today. The Nahanni Valley is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, known for its breathtaking beauty. The indigenous Dean people still warn visitors to respect the spirits of the valley. But not all strange places are natural. Some are deliberately built to confuse us. Number 7. The Breathing Giant. In the late 1580s, renowned Flemish sculptor Giambologna carved one of the most extraordinary statues ever created, the Apennine Colossus, Colosso dell'Appennino. He depicts a bearded mountain god crouching and emerging from the earth. He looks as though he could stand up at any moment and level an entire city. But most people walking past him never realize that the Colossus is not a solid block of stone, but actually a building. At his base is a small entrance, and inside is a network of caves, grottos, and hydraulic systems. These span 3 distinct levels inside the statue's body. There is a grotto at the base, a chamber in the torso, and a tiny belvedere in the head. Narrow stairs join all. The Colossus was connected to an extraordinary hydraulic system. It powered the fountains throughout the Medici Park. Hidden pipes and valves drove jets of water from the monster he grips, from his beard, and from the grotto walls. Descriptions claim he was originally able to sweat and weep. Water poured through a network of pipes running through his body. When temperatures dropped in winter, icicles would form across his body. On feast days, a fire would be lit in the head. The flames illuminated his eyes with a flickering, menacing glow. Smoke escaped perfectly through the carved nostrils. The giant appeared to breathe, and at night his eyes would glow in the dark. Much of the original statue and surrounding sculptures fell into disrepair when the villa was demolished in 1822. But the Colossus still stands today. It is a testament to the ingenuity and ambition of the Renaissance. What happens when structures do not just look alive but behave like they are? Number 6. The Cave That Defies Physics. In the 5th century BC, workers quarrying the legendary white marble used to build the Parthenon discovered a cave west a few kilometers north of Athens. It appeared to have served as a shrine for devotees of Pan. Then, during the Middle Ages, Christian hermits built a rare double Byzantine church directly into the cave's entrance. By the 19th century, the cave had become more popular after a notorious brigand named Christos Davalos allegedly hid his treasure deep within the cave's labyrinthine tunnels. That treasure has never been found. But the treasure is not what makes this cave truly terrifying. Visitors consistently report electronics going haywire the moment they step inside, only to work normally again once brought outside. People experience severe disorientation. They lose all sense of time, and some have heard ghostly voices. One visitor captured what sounded like a choir of angelic children chanting in ancient Greek. Multiple witnesses have described water flowing uphill within the cave system. Visitors have reported seeing bipedal cat-like creatures moving in the deeper sections. Others have spoken of a tiny, pitch-black creature lurking at the entrance. The strange phenomena did not go unnoticed by the authorities. The Greek magazine Tachydromos published an article stating that the Greek military had begun strictly confidential operations inside Develos Cave. Entry to the public was suddenly forbidden. The government expanded the existing natural tunnels. They brought in heavy machinery to conduct operations that were never made public. The deeper tunnel system was deliberately blasted and sealed. Whatever the military found inside was forever buried. What do you build when you are preparing for the end of the world? Number 5. The Underground Fortress, and is protected by 2 giant blast doors made of concrete and steel. The blast doors are shaped like plugs. Any blast would tighten their seal during an attack. Behind these doors, the complex contains 15 connected buildings made of steel plates. The springs absorb the shock of a nuclear blast or earthquake. The complex is entirely self-sufficient. It has its own power, water, air filtration, and climate systems. It has quarters and mess facilities to sustain operations even during a nuclear war. The facility can withstand and remain operational through a 30-megaton nuclear explosion. Today, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex serves as the headquarters for NORAD. Its mission is to detect and respond to any airborne threats to the United States and Canada. The absolute secrecy surrounding the construction and operation of this facility has sparked decades of speculation. Some conspiracy theorists believe the complex contains secret government archives, alien technology, or even a shadow government. This shadow government would take control in the event of an apocalypse. But what if even the Earth itself contains structures we still cannot explain? Number 4. The Baigong Pipes Mystery. In 1996, a Chinese writer named Bai Yu was exploring the remote Mount Baigong in Qinghai province when he discovered a series of metal-like pipes. The pipes were found in a triangular cave at the base of the mountain. Scientists analyzed the pipes. Some claims even stretched to 450,000 years. Chemical analysis could not entirely identify their composition. It did confirm that some of the pipes are highly radioactive. 2 theories have been proposed to explain the Baigong pipes. The first suggests a prehistoric civilization with advanced technology that built these pipes. The second posits that aliens used this site as a launch pad or research base. Local legends claim that Mount Baigong served as an ancient alien laboratory. There is a pyramidal structure on the summit. There are 3 triangular entrances at the base leading into the mountain. But geologists have proposed a more rational explanation. They believe the pipes are the fossilized casts of tree roots. The theory involves a natural process called lithification. Iron-rich groundwater seeped into cavities left by rotting tree roots. It hardened into metallic pipe shapes over millions of years. However, if the pipes are really natural formations, why would they have radioactive properties? The Chinese government quickly restricted further academic research at the site. Instead, they built an alien monument there to attract tourists. How did ancient builders move stone without leaving a trace of how they did it? Number 3. Sandstone from nowhere. Mount Meiji is a 142-meter-tall mountain in China's Gansu province. They are connected by precarious wooden walkways and stairs that seem to defy gravity. Some hang hundreds of meters above the ground. Inside and along the exterior of these caves are over 10,600 Buddhist statues. They were created over a period of roughly 1,600 years. The Meijishan grottos are considered one of China's 4 most important Buddhist temple groups. They stand alongside the Mogao Caves at Dunhuang, the Yungan Caves at Datong, and the Longmen Grottos at Luoyang. The mountain itself is formed of soft purplish-red sandstone. Many of the most exquisite statues are not carved from the mountain's own stone. The rock for these huge, ornate statues was hauled up the mountainside from somewhere else. No one knows where this stone came from or how it was hoisted hundreds of meters up a near-vertical cliff face. Some sources suggest the statues are not even made of solid stone and are built from a wooden skeleton overlaid with clay and painted. Each successive generation of monks would maintain and embroider the mountain's art installations. They added their own unique veneer to more than 2,000 years of history. This only deepens the mystery. How did the monks transport the clay? How did they build the wooden skeletons at such dizzying heights? Local legends offer the only answer. They say the monks achieved such a state of enlightenment that they could make heavy objects weightless. What if the greatest secrets are not hidden in nature, but beneath world-famous landmarks? Number 2. Petra's Secret Chamber. For centuries, millions of visitors have been drawn to the ancient city of Petra in Jordan, a city the Nabateans built directly into the rose-red sandstone cliffs. Inside the city, the Nabateans created temples, tombs, a theater, a fully self-sustaining water system, and the most famous structure, Al-Khazneh, also known as the Treasury. But then, in 2024, a joint Jordanian and American research team, using advanced remote sensing radar, located and excavated a secret chamber buried deep beneath the foundation of the treasury. Inside, they found 12 intact ancient Nabatean skeletons. This was extraordinary because most tombs in Petra had been completely looted over the centuries. The skeletal remains found under the treasury date to between 400 BC and 106 AD. Geological analysis of the surrounding sediments revealed that the tomb was built between the mid-1st century BC and the early 2nd century AD. It might be a royal crypt for a highly powerful king. One detail makes this discovery feel like a movie scene. One of the skeletons was found clutching a broken ceramic jug. That jug bears an uncanny resemblance to the Holy Grail prop used in the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The movie used the Treasury building as the resting place for the fictional Holy Grail. Josh Gates, host of the Discovery Channel's Expedition Unknown, confirmed the discovery. Sometimes the greatest mysteries are not hidden underground. They are hiding in plain sight. Number 1. The Fake-like Lake. In 2014, a viral video made an illusion so perfect that many people assumed it was simply impossible. The footage showed hikers walking across what looked like crystal-clear ice. Their feet seemed suspended above the dark depths of the lake below. Velké Hinkovo Pleso is the deepest and largest glacial lake in Slovakia. It reaches depths of up to 54 meters. The lake freezes over for approximately 270 days each year. What makes this lake truly magical is its transparency. When temperatures drop, the freezing water forms an ice surface so clear that one can see straight through to depths of nearly 9 meters. The mystery of Velké Hinkovo Pleso is a mystery of perception. It reminds us that the natural world can create things that defy our expectations. It challenges our understanding of what is real. Thanks for watching. Now check out the videos popping up on screen for more unbelievable stories.